Rick Santelli. Here's some breaking news. September read on personal income and spending. We're expecting up 0.4 on income. We arrived at half that, up 0.2 on income, up 0.4 on spending. So spending matches expectations. We have positive revisions to both. Last month's income upgraded from 0.3 to 0.4, spending from 0.3 up to 0.5. Now, if we look at real personal spending, that matched expectations, up 0.3. The deflator up 0.1 year over year, up 2%. If you look at core, up 0.2 month over month, also up 2% year over year. Those numbers are about in sync with expectations. The only sequential change I should point out is on the year over year deflator. That last look was up 2.2, so that did cool off a bit. The fixed income markets haven't responded in a big way. We were a little light on income. Maybe the biggest feature continues to be that we're basically at a 3-week low closing yield as of Friday's close, and we see the dollar index continuing to power higher. One of the stellar performers, at least on the financial side, for 2018 thus far. Becky, back to you.
All right, Rick, thank you very much. Steve Liesman is also here on set with us. We'll get his reaction to the data, too. What do you think, Steve?
Good numbers, 0.2, not the strong numbers of 0.4. We're not, the question becomes, is the strong 4% year over year, quarter to quarter annualized number we saw in the GDP report last week, is that something that can endure? Is it propelled mostly by jobs and wage gains, or is it the tax cut? There's a lot of pessimism in the weekend papers in the Journal about the tax cuts continuing. I'm a little actually more optimistic than that. I do think your argument about it takes companies time to put products out there, especially if it's greenfield stuff, maybe even some brownfield stuff, that takes time to happen. I do not think there was a whole lot of low-hanging fruit in terms of investments that were forestalled because of whatever negative sentiment, things like that. Right. But I want to talk about something entirely different. We are about halfway through the earnings seasons, and CNBC scoured. I say CNBC, Nicholas Wells, the producer there who does a lot of this data, scoured all the earnings calls that have taken place so far to gauge the impact of tariffs. Here's the results. 65% did not mention the word tariff in their calls. 35% did. Let's take a look now. 19% said tariffs have had a negative or somewhat negative effect. 14% mentioned tariffs in a neutral way. Just 2% said it helped their business. Here's some of the commentary that we're measuring here. This would have ended up as a negative. Over at Harley, they say, in total, we now expect to incur approximately $43 to $48 million of increased costs related to tariffs during 2018. At Fortune Brands, they say, quote, we estimate modest impacts in the tariffs, roughly $2 to $3 million, which was included in our revised guidance. More will come in 2019 if we move to the 25% tariff level. In total, 45 companies mentioned tariffs in a negative or somewhat negative way. Most of the positive comments, of which there were a total of 5, came from companies that had better results because customers had pulled forward business to beat the tariffs. Now, in a separate survey out today, the National Association for Business Economics found 77% of companies say they have not changed their business in response to tariffs, very close to ours. 23% had, and most of those were negative. Take a look at some of the negative and positive results. 13% delayed investment, 10% accelerated investment, 4% delayed hiring, 4% accelerated hiring. You can see there, mostly just going down, I'm not going to read them all for you there. 2% redirected spending from the U.S. Modest results all through, but most of the negative results were reported by goods producers, where 10 of the 13 companies in the survey reported negative effects. About half raised prices, 38% delayed investment. So I'll sum it up. 2/3 to 3/4, no effect. Of the quarter, the predominant is negative, and it seems to be hitting the manufacturing sector, those who are importing stuff from abroad, the hardest.